gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. But glad you're tuning in on the latest tip. Alternative salon, keep your head lit. And naturally yours, got your custom fit. T-shirt and Tanika, keep your wig drip. TNT, double up the impact, call it Twinness. Hottest hairstylist in the business. Keeping topics fresh for your listening. Black owned, woman independent. Like fishes hold it down on your imaging. Whether professional or apprenticeship. Showing culture love just to get you right. Black is beautiful, always shining bright. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness.
Hello. This is Keisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And I am Tanika Gillard. I am Naturally Yours.
Nikki, I just want to give a acknowledgement. There's a huge fire here in the Bronx, and 19 people died so far. And the fire was started by a space heater. So everybody, please be careful of your space heaters. It's really, really sad. 9 children, 10 adults so far, and a lot of smoke inhalation. So there's a lot of people that's in the hospital from the one building. So I just want to send my condolences and just, send prayers up to those families. One person lost their entire family in that fire. So, yeah. And so, we're going to move on because, that's like I said, but how do you move on from that? I want to say personally, thank you to everyone who watched my video and commented and sent me Facebook messages about my skincare video. And every week this month, I will be talking something about skincare. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching that. And then I thank Joanne for actually reaching out. She would like some the products. So I just want to give thanks for that.
Okay. All right. Well, wonderful. Well, you guys, tonight we are going to talk about 10 mistakes that we made starting our businesses or in the hair industry as a whole. So our own experiences. What you was going to say?
No, I was going to say this was a great topic last year, so we thought we would bring it back to you guys this year. Mm-hmm. Some things we may repeat from last year, but others we are going to continue on, or they're new, fresh topics that we may not have talked about last year.
Okay. All right. So you want to start?
Sure. One of the ones that we did talk about last year was hiring too fast and firing too slow. Hiring too fast and firing too slow. And I know that I've been guilty of that because, sometimes when you're just first starting out in business, you are so desperate to hire, you need help and you want to hire anybody that says they need a job, right? So then you say, okay, I'll take you on. Or sometimes you cannot work with your family. So your family wants to have a job in your business, but they don't really want to do the work. They just want to be under you, mm-hmm. but they don't want to do the work. So sometimes you can hire too fast out of desperation. And then, because it's your family member, let's say, or your friend, you don't want to fire them. So that's when you take your time getting rid of them. And that can be a problem.
Yeah, they're not the right fit for your brand or your organization, because you could hire someone. Maybe they just don't have the same moral compass. They don't have the same business ethics. like you might be a worker and they might be sluggish, So yeah, I understand what you mean when you say that.
Yes. So hire slow. You want to hire slow and fire fast. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hire fast and fire slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
just have to say, we are running live. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on streaming live on Roku at Voice of Promise TV. I didn't
Yes.
want to go too far without saying that.
Okay. Well, thank you for remembering that. Remember to say that. Um, One of mine was taking all the clients, like everybody that wanted to come in and get their hair done. Because y'all know now I don't do children. But when you first starting out, you take in all the clients. You take the kids, you take the older adults and things like that. And, you're just trying to make your money and build up your business. But at the same time, I don't do children. I don't have the patience to do children's hair. And of course, I don't do that now. But at the time, I was just doing hair and just taking all the children. I know I even taught at a college, and I told them I don't do children under 13. And one of the students said to me, "But you're losing money." I said, "It's not worth it. It wasn't worth it for me to take on children."
Nikki, that's something that we did not talk about last year. So this is a new one for the 10 mistakes. So if you didn't see last year's, you might want to find that one on YouTube. And then today we are continuing those 10 mistakes, and we're adding stuff, with a twist, and we might be repeating a couple. But that one is a good one, not taking in children, because I'll have another one to go with that as well. Not taking in children. I no longer take in children under 12. Um, and then this goes with yours. On my website, it did still say that I do children 9 up and 9 and up. And
Mhm.
so a lady called and said, well, your website says that you do children 9 and up. And I no longer offer that service, but I had to have the person that does my website, I had to have her take that off because I forgot that it was on my website. And so the lady was right. It was on my website. So my second part to that is make sure your website is current, because when I knew I wasn't going to do children anymore, I should have had that immediately removed. I just didn't even think about, oh, that's on my website, I need to get rid of it. And I know that sounded kind of odd too, because I used to have a children's salon, and I was the only salon in my area that had a children's salon. So it kind of sounded odd. Oh, she doesn't do children anymore, but no, I don't do children anymore under the age of 12.
For you guys who are joining, y'all are watching Twinness, and we're both in the beauty industry. So today we're just talking about business stuff, 10 mistakes we've made in our beauty industry compartment, but it can go across all boards so far, what we talked about, just taking on clients that's not your right fit, hiring too fast and firing too slow. So just reiterating those points.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
offering services to people that you really just don't really service. So, okay.
Yep. So the next thing I had on my list was not having the proper people in place. So that almost goes with the firing too slow, but it's different because my first person that set up Alternatives Beauty Studio was one of our friends from junior high school. His name was Jed Michelle. He started my first business. However, he moved to Georgia. So he didn't really know Pennsylvania law. So that was a problem. So he was my accountant. But you need someone that's in place that knows your state rules and regulations, your state finances, your state, what's the taxes and stuff going to be. So that was an issue because when that tax season came around, he had not taken out enough. He didn't take enough for my employees. So they got hit with the owing taxes. So you want to make sure that you have the proper people in place doing things. So then I went on with ADP and moved on from there. And so that's how I worked that out. But you want to make sure you have the proper people in place. And even right now, I'm in somewhat of a similar situation, and I'm getting ready to call someone else and take over accounts.
Mine was similar. I have hiring the wrong accountant because the accountant that I had, she had me kind of in the hole, and that went on for some years, and I didn't know it until I switched accountants, and everything came up. I ended up owing money, which was fine, but I wasn't able to do the things I needed to do, move the way I needed to move in order to get a house and get assets and stuff like that. I couldn't do it the way my old accountant was doing. So it's important to make sure that you get the proper accountant on your team.
And keeping with that, because my next one it still relates to taxes, make sure, I did not know this, make sure that you have a separate tax account. So every sale that you do, it should be going into a separate tax account other than your revenue account. Of course, all money is going to hit that revenue account, but you want to take a percentage out, 20% maybe, to go to your tax account. That was something I did not know when I opened the business.
I have to put that note there for myself to have a separate, let me write that down now, tax account.
Tanika, let me tell you, some would say you should have several accounts, but for me, the tax account is enough, because some would say have the tax account, have an operations account, have a marketing account. Yes. So, but that to me, that becomes a little overkill. If I was a bigger company, maybe, but since it's just me, I know where the money's going. I know when I need to buy toilet paper, paper supplies,
Okay.
you know, hair products, I already know that I'm going to need to buy these things. So I just, just the 2 accounts is enough for me.
My people on Roku, I'm sorry, but it feels like I have something in my eye, so I keep digging. But thank you for hanging in there with us. Y'all are watching Twinness.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that is what was my next one. So it just tied in having a good accountant and having your separate tax account. You need to have a separate tax account, because let's say you had that accountant that wasn't really doing things on the up and up or properly, and then you take your stuff to the new accountant. Now you owe the taxes, like what you were just saying. You already have that separate tax account, so it'll kind of offset what you may have to pay back or pay in general.
Yes.
My next point was, you don't want to depend on others to do the work for you. Let me explain. For me, I'm not tech savvy. I'm doing so much better than I used to. But now that I'm learning how to become more tech savvy, now I can delegate. But I was delegating and just spending money left and right, and then not being satisfied with what I was getting. But how could I delegate if it's something that I don't know? So it's better for me to kind of learn what it is that I want and then delegate it to someone. So when I don't like it, or if it's not correct, I can say, no, I know what I'm talking about. This is the way I want it.
Okay, I have something similar on my list, and then I'm gonna go back to what you said. I put doing everything yourself. Like, I'm not good, and I put in parentheses, I'm not good with technology. And so you hire out people, and I know you could get scammed because you're constantly hiring out people to do the work. But like you said, and it goes back to your beginnings, you learn how to do nails, you learn how to do skin, you learn how to do hair. You went back for each thing, so you knew every component, so nobody could blind you. Kind of the same thing what you're doing with technology. You're taking classes so you'll know at least the basics, so that when you have to deal with these people, but I did have that on my list, trying to do everything yourself. And that could burn you out. And like me, like I said, I'm not a technical person. So having someone on the team that can handle it, you can't take on everything. You can't take on everything. Let somebody else handle what you can't handle, and you focus on the big picture.
Yes, I do believe in delegation. Sometimes it's just when you get burnt so many times, it's like, let me sit down and figure this out. At least I will know. And what if that person is ill, or they can't do it, or they're taking too slow, or whatever? Then you know what you need to do, and you can get it done.
Right, because they have families. Yeah, they have families, and sometimes they have more than your account they're dealing with. They're dealing with other accounts. So I understand what you're saying.
It was something else. It was about that accounting thing that really keeps sticking with me. the new place that I'm looking into, you want to have an accountant that's really knowledgeable in certain things. So what about your asset management? So now I'm looking for an accountant that deals also with asset management. Um, I don't want to go into too deep with that right now because I don't want to get too technical. But you want to be able to find an accountant that can help you with that. And how can they help you like grow your business? When I was dealing with certain accountants, they're really not telling me what I really need to know to grow my business. Of course, you do the research on your own, but they should be able to help you out in some kind of way. There's certain things that I should have been doing that I didn't know. And when you don't know, then you lose.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My next point was being inconsistent with your products. So today I have oils, tomorrow I don't. Today I have t-shirts, tomorrow I don't. Just keeping up with the demand, because people look for the stuff that you have. They look for items that you sell. And once you stop selling them, they're like, well, and so that's a loss in revenue for you, but it's also a loss for the client as well, because they're like, well, I love that stuff that you had. When will you be bringing it back?
Now there's a difference between discontinuing and selling out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So sometimes you will sell out of an item and then you have to restock, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So that's totally different than what you're saying for you to just discontinue. But sometimes you have to discontinue a product because it wasn't selling as it should have been or as you thought that it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be discontinuing a product because it's not moving the way I want it to move or I thought it should move. But I'm continuing, like you guys know, I started my mask. People love that mask, so I'm gonna keep it. Totally keeping my shampoo bars. People love that. Since I started selling my oils like 9 years ago, people look for the oils. Now, what I did get in trouble for was this year I did not have my peppermint oil. And then when I went to pick up my peppermint oil, my producer got COVID. So it's still with her, traveling back and forth in her car. So,
Okay.
I can easily say, can you mail it to me? But we live so close that it doesn't make sense for her to mail it to me. But COVID happened and therefore she has the oils, but I can't get them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I agree. But sometimes beauty supply stores, they do discontinue some of your favorite looks. And that's usually because it wasn't selling or they want to make room for
Right.
something new. And
Yeah.
I have making a lot of room for some things coming to alternatives beauty.
I understand.
Like I said, we are launching our skincare line, which is going to be great. And you will see me doing videos often on that. And we are launching our makeup line. We are relaunching that. And like what you said, I got rid of the makeup line, but then I was told, bring the makeup line back. But I'm not going to bring it back as big as I had it the first time.
Okay.
That I'm not going to do.
Okay.
So the next and final thought for me was keeping up with the trends. We are advocates for continuing education. But like the trend is social media. I didn't keep up with that trend because I was never into technology. I'm not into computers. So keeping up with the trend. If I kept up with that, then I would know more about how to work social media, et cetera, et cetera. It's not that I'm too old to learn. So I'm learning now how to work technology and stuff like that. Keeping up with the trends. Really wasn't interested in lace fronts, but that's a big deal. And I took that class years ago at one of the hair shows that we went to in Atlanta. And back then, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And back then, it's so far back that they used to tell you to shave.
Oh, yes, I remember.
That's how far back I took that class. And now you don't have to shave your edges, but that's how far back that class was. And I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in that because I definitely am more of a natural hair care. Let me do that. Not really a lace front, but that's the trend today.
So when you say the trends, I agree with that. But, now even if you can't keep up with the trend with social media, so far as social media, you have people that will do it for you. You have social media marketers if you hire them to keep the trend for you. And that's what I'm looking into for my daughter's business, because this year is all about rainbows. So I have someone that I'm going to be working with to do that for me, while I continue with Naturally Yours. But that's important to
To interject, I am doing that as well. But remember, let's go back to, I want to learn how to do it myself, so that when I'm
absolutely.
delegating to them, I'll say, look, this is what I'm looking for. But I am with you. I am hiring someone as well.
Absolutely. You know, I'm taking a class as well to keep up with that backside stuff. Because, you know, we talk about the Wix and how many integrations it has and stuff like that, and how to learn those things. And then, you know, I have another company that I'm with. I shouldn't have said, but, you know, but whatever. And so, yes, so you could always hire someone to handle your social media marketing if you don't know how to do it yourself. My last thing was knowing when to raise your prices. Today I was told you need to add 10 this year, increase your prices $10 this year, you know. And I told her when I got home, I will do that. I will go into my website and increase all the prices by $10.
I increased my prices. I had learned that too, because for years I wouldn't increase my prices. I think for the first 5 years of alternatives, I did not increase my prices. And then when I increased my prices, people wanted to complain. I'm like, look, I haven't raised my prices in 5 years. Y'all have gotten over for 5 years. But something I learned over the summer was increase your prices 10%. So 10% or to 20%, I believe it was. So, but every year since that fifth year, I've been increasing my prices. And that's just the way it's been, because like usually if you're like a 9 to 5er, you're getting a raise every year. Why shouldn't I raise my price every year? You're getting a raise. I need to, inflation is real. My cost of services, my cost
Yeah.
of living goes up just like yours. So I need to raise my prices. And that's just the way it is.
Yep.
And if people say your prices are too much, then there's other salons that you can go to, but I know my worth and I know what I bring to the table. I know my experience, and I just know.
Yes, absolutely. So those are our 10 points. Y'all are watching Twin This. We're doing 10 mistakes we made in business, or some things that you can avoid if you're opening a business, starting a business, whether it's hair, whether it's whatever business it's in. I think these are practical things that you can avoid, especially with your taxes, getting the right accountant, getting the right social media marketer if you need one, getting the right staff, making sure that it's a quality staff that you would stand behind. Because even though I'm Naturally Yours, I work in a barbershop, and everybody that comes in there are just overwhelmed by the quietness, the peacefulness of it all. The men are not harassing the women, when they come through the door.
The
Just the
professionalism.
respect. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and he hires the best staff, he hires the best.
And like what you were saying, I'm piggybacking again. If you hire the right staff and they're ready to leave you, they still will leave you with glowing reviews. So, I always mention her name, but I won't mention it tonight. But I had a staffer. She was with me 8 years, got her straight from high school. And 8 years later, she went on to open up her own business. And she was so respectful about it. She was like, Tisha, would I be not stepping on your toes, but would it be like kind of disrespectful for me to open up a natural hair salon as well? But I was like, no, you do you. She's all the way over there and I'm all the way over here. And
That's
I'm like,
right.
it's time for you to fly. I cannot hold you back. You have your own family now, and you've learned as much as I can teach you right now.
Right.
So to me, it was like, go with my blessings. You know what I mean?
You know,
And to this day, we are still very, very, very close. And she got a great opportunity to work with someone so high level. I don't want to mention the name, but so high level. And I'm just like, go for it, girl. Don't stop. Because I saw it from her from the beginning. When I taught at her school, I could see she was going to go far. And I'm so proud of her right now.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. No worries.
So when you're mentoring or hiring somebody, remember they're looking at you. They are looking at how you move. They're looking at your professionalism. You're teaching them. When you're hiring somebody, it comes from the head down, you know. So if you are saying to your clients, you got to come in here washed and ready, that's a problem for me. You know, because we're here to provide you the service. Sometimes they come in washed and ready, but that shouldn't be a requirement for them
Right.
to come in washed and
Right.
ready. That's
I
all I'm
got
trying
you.
to say.
Okay. 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 No problem. Like my client came in today. She was already washing and ready. She said, I'm ready,
I
Nikki. And she just,
appreciate it when they come washed and
yeah,
ready.
she just
I
wanted to sit
appreciate
there.
when they come washed, ready, and blown out. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she
all
was
right,
blown out. She was like, I just want to get this done. I got to get
okay,
home. And, it's Sunday. And it's pouring down rain out here. She's like,
okay,
it's time to go. We got to roll.
right, right, right.
So it was great. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So that is our 10 mistakes that we have made. And next week we will be coming to you with the 10 successes that we have made. How we started out correctly.
Mhm.
But we wanted to reshare this with you because it's the first quarter. It's January. This is the beginning of a new year. This is only our second show of the year. And we wanted to start you off in the right direction. And help you guys in any way we can, for this new year. I am so excited for 2022. And I see just a lot of progress for the both of us, a lot of success for the both of us.
Mhm.
And even the one that I was just talking about, she was like, Happy New Year. This is going to be a big year for both of us, her and I.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I'm like, you got it.
Mhm.
You said it. I'm ready.
Yay. So you guys take care. Have a great week. And we will see y'all next Sunday on Roku at Voice of Promise, as well as on YouTube
YouTube.
and Facebook Live. I think we're Facebook Live.
We're Facebook Living right now.
Mhm.
And I will see you sometime during this week. This is Alternatives Beauty Studio. I will see you Tuesday when I give you more skincare tips.
Yay.
Anything for you, Nikki?
No, yeah, have a great night.
All right. Have a good night.